I think locals can develop negative feelings towards Airbnbs and tourists because of this. I'm really shocked that if you go over the first threshold, the tax will more than double.
With the rising number of the Airbnbs, there is a shortage in long-term rentals. Here is the place where you can earn some money from tourism. Many people, expats, foreigners or Greeks, consider having an Airbnb as a source of passive income. But with all the changes, all the taxes, the rising competition and the expenses, is it still worth it to have an Airbnb in Greece?
Let's talk about it. So probably if you ever thought of investing in Greece, one of the first things that comes to your mind is having an Airbnb as a passive income?
Yeah, I think it's a natural thing. If you have money to invest or if you build a house, you're thinking maybe I can rent the downstairs, maybe I can build something on the side to rent it. Especially here in Greece, this is a natural thing to think about when it comes to earning some extra money.
Yeah, because tourism is such a big part of Greece.
Here is the place where you can earn some money from tourism. This is not available in all the countries, so I guess if you live here or if you move here or if you want to invest here, it's just a natural thought that comes to your mind.
Yeah, we want to make this video as a conversation, so whatever thought you have, please put it down in the comments.
For us, it's an interesting topic. Since we have this platform and we can share our thoughts with you, we thought why not make it an open conversation and maybe have you guys sharing your experience with us too, so we can all learn more things and find out more things. I think it's interesting. So if you have an Airbnb or if you know someone that has one or you just know some information about this topic, please comment down below and let's talk about it. I would also like to add that this is not us trying to teach anything on Airbnbs.
Yeah.
So big disclaimer, we're not teaching anything, we're not giving advice. We just want to talk about it, share our perspective because we have an outsider perspective and we never had an Airbnb and we just want to share a few things we noticed, let's say.
We also know a few things because we have friends who have Airbnbs. We did a bit of research, so
there are a few things that you need to consider when thinking about having an Airbnb for sure. I think the first one is the location.
The success of the Airbnb is very dependable on the location. Yeah, because Greece is a big country and there are a lot of parts that tourists find attractive.
But not all of them.
Not all of them. So I would say it's a big difference to have an Airbnb in a big populated city.
Like in Athens.
Like in Athens, Thessaloniki. If you have it on an island like Crete in a populated city.
In
Santorini, in Mykonos. It's most likely to have success with this than having something maybe in a more remote village or in a more towards the north side of Greece.
Well, I guess the price is important as well. Your services are important as well, what you offer and what people are looking for.
If you have a good location, you can ask for a higher price and you have a lot of interest in it.
Yeah, so I guess the location influences a lot the number of people interested in booking your place. So when you're buying something or thinking about from the get-go that you want that place to be for rental, you have to consider the location a lot. It's very important, one of the most important things I would say. Yeah, there are many other things that can influence this. For example, the maintenance, if you have a pool, if you have a garden, or even in general, just the cleaning, just to find if you have, for example, if you don't live here and you can't do it by yourself and you have to hire somebody to manage everything. This is an extra cost. It's not cheap and not only that, but it's sometimes difficult to find. I heard from other people saying that it's not that easy to find good cleaners or that they would hire someone and then do the work themselves because they were not up to their expectations. It's definitely not easy to find someone to trust to take care of your place. If you don't have people here, if you live abroad and you just buy the property here and you want to rent it, I think it's not easy to find somebody to take care of it.
Yeah, it would be much easier for you to do it if you know what you're doing, for you to manage it and clean it. If you have time, this is the best option probably, and if you know what you're doing.
But then also this comes to other sacrifices. You're not as flexible. If you want to leave, if you want to do something else, then you have to be there for your clients.
This becomes like a job.
Yeah, so it's not that passive, I would say.
No, and if you try to make it passive, you will have to pay the cleaning, you will have to pay the maintenance, you will have to pay the managing, you will have to pay
all the bills that you have and everything. So it's not easy money for sure. Another thing that you have to consider is the rising competition. Airbnbs are very popular right now.
I feel like 5 years ago to have an Airbnb would have been much more easier to get customers, to get people interested in.
There weren't so many, and it's also there weren't as popular, I would say.
But now the market is oversaturated in most popular
we noticed
places.
during the summer, because we were looking just out of curiosity to see if there is availability. Many places had availability throughout
the whole
summer,
season.
the whole season, yeah.
Maybe just 2 weeks in August.
They were fully booked.
They were fully booked if they have a good location and a good price. The competition is higher and even more people are interested in this business idea.
Obviously, it's a way to make money, probably more profitable than to rent it long term, depending on obviously what you offer as well. So yeah, I guess a lot of people are interested in it. I'm thinking that now, this year especially, hearing everything that's going on in Spain, for example, it makes you think a little bit if it's a good idea to do it, if something can come up, if things can change, if the regulations can change. What if one day the government says, I don't know,
this area is not suitable for Airbnb and you just bought a property and
only for that purpose? Yeah, I think it makes you think twice for sure. There are many regulations that are new every year. Things become a bit more harder, more regulated about these short-term rentals. More taxes are applied. They are increased every year. I mean, you probably know better than us. Yeah, let us know what you think about this, what you have noticed throughout the years. If you own an Airbnb, is it more difficult now? Do you feel like you get less customers maybe, or the profits are lower, or what's going on? Or maybe this is what we think and things are going great.
How do you think it was 5 years ago compared to now?
Okay, so speaking of tax, I think the most important one is the income tax. So from what we know, up to 12,000 you pay 15% tax. If your profit is between 12,000 and 35,000 you pay 35%, and whatever is over 35,000 profit you pay 45% tax.
I'm really shocked that if you go over the first threshold, the tax will more than double. But yeah, this is for a normal owner.
Yeah, for Airbnbs.
Yeah, if you have a hotel or if you have multiple accommodation, like 3 or more,
yeah, you pay
VIT, and it's an extra.
There are other extra taxes, of course, depending on the location, and more regulations also depending on the location. For example, I know there is a tax for the environmental tax or something like that. I don't know exactly how it's called. Now, for a small Airbnb is like 1.5 to 2 euros per night. For bigger ones, maybe 20.
Yeah.
But they are going to increase that from next season, from what I heard. And they increased it a lot, like more than double.
Yeah, you need to be aware of these possible changes.
Yeah, I guess you have to be aware that things are changing all the time and new things can come up, new regulations. Comes to that point that there are too many properties, maybe they will be, increasing the taxes and everything, kind of balance things out.
What do you think of these taxes and what should the government do?
Another thing that you have to consider when you're calculating your profit is the percentage that goes to the platform, like for example Airbnb or Booking, maybe if you're using Booking.
And they can take from 3% up to 16.
This is on Airbnb, yeah. And on Booking I think is 15.
Yeah, in that range. I think it fluctuates and it's dependable of many things.
Yeah, you can, depending on how you set your account and many other things. Another thing to consider is the impact on the local communities. Not all the locals are happy about it, and this can lead to increased regulations and taxes. Because with the rising number of the Airbnbs, there is a shortage in long-term rentals.
I think locals can develop strong negative feelings towards Airbnbs and tourists because of this problem, like it's happening in Spain or in Italy.
A bit crazy. Another thing is having an Airbnb in Greece is a seasonal thing. Most of the people rent during the summer months, maybe from May to October, let's say. This makes it
hard to maintain a stream of income from the Airbnb because during the winter it will be harder to find customers.
Yeah, so I guess it's not a steady all year round passive income, or like a seasonal one.
You'll have to balance it.
You have to take this into consideration for sure. What are your expenses during the off season, and if you make enough during the summer to make it sustainable all year round. Yeah, I guess when you think about all of these things, when you think about all the maintenance process, which sometimes can be stressful, I imagine, especially if you're not here. If you're abroad and you have a property manager that, takes care of the things, there are always things coming up, there are always things that need to be sorted, and this can cost a lot. You have to just consider all of these things before even thinking about having an Airbnb.
Yeah, because to give an example, let's say for one night you have an Airbnb, the price is 100. You need to pay the cleaning, the maintenance, you need to pay the management. Then the government will take taxes, Airbnb will take fees.
Yeah, with the rising of the competition, with all the changes that are going on, all the extra taxes.
And with people that are spending less money because they don't have that much money.
With rising cost of living.
How much is left? Is it worth it? That's for you to decide.
We would love to hear from you. What do you think?
Yeah, let us know in the comments what thoughts you have on this.